I'm feeling groovy. All right, y'all ladies, I am loading this up over in the community because we are about to cut up. Let me pick the topic. Technically, this is going to go into mindset because it talks about what you're doing with your business while you're going. But let me get that in there. Bam. Okay, y'all, I'm super excited. I put a question out here. And first of all, thank you to everyone who answered my questions. But I asked you all about, do you make sure that you get everything together while you're working, or do you allow yourself to build as you go? And I got some really interesting answers. And the majority of you in here said that, you build the plane. Oh wow, I mean, I think that's you popping in here with me, Kiki. I'm getting ready to pull this up on my computer so it's easier for me to see. But a lot of you said you build as you go, and I titled this video I titled this video on the computer as "Build the Plane While You Fly It," because ultimately you say you building the plane on the way down, baby. So yay, you are here. Kiki is in the building. There we go. So the reason why I want to talk to you guys about this is because this is a problem. This is a problem with most business owners, and it sounds so freaking irrational for you all to do this because you're so busy thinking about presentation. You're thinking about everything that you've received over your entire duration of your life. Everybody's always told you you're not clear to go here or to do this without going through our process. So you're going to go from kindergarten to fifth grade. You need our permission after we think your personality is right, your testing is right, in order for us to say you can skip a grade. You're not qualified to work or to do this thing until we say that you are degreed or you've received certification. But when you get into the entrepreneurial sphere, you begin to realize that there are just things that you can do that are innate abilities. And what we have gotten away from in this society is celebrating innate abilities. And so unless you go through some type of performance-based process or some measurable process and then complete, you're used to doing things in phases. You're used to only doing things when someone gives you permission and says that a criteria has been met. But when you come out here in the coaching arena, for instance, I'm not saying that everybody should start this way, but I really didn't have a clue. I didn't have an opt-in. I didn't have a lead magnet. But what I did have was August. I had August and I had my mind. And I knew that I had an innate gift to be able to say to people, excuse me, you don't need to think like that. Have you considered thinking like this and changing the way people think, changing the way people thought, change the way that they process things, and it changed the results that they got in their life. So I started in the personal development sphere when I began coaching, but I didn't go to school. I didn't get certification. I just put my name out there, and people were coming to me. They weren't worried about whether or not I did or didn't have a website. One of the first women that I worked with that was in Houston, a local client, she sat down and she met with me. She sat down and she met with me, and she used to do Toastmasters, and she just was so in love with the way that I showed up and I spoke to confidence and I spoke to life whenever I did presentations, that she wanted to know what that looked like for her. And so we sat down and we worked on a business plan and we did a bunch of other things because she was enamored with who I am, not with the way that I had things set up. And the next woman that I would sign after that, it was all because some man that loved the way that my personality was and the things I helped him think through, he told a woman, you got to work with August. I was at a Christmas party and she came on a dance floor doing like this. And she was like, my head ain't right, but I heard that you're the woman that I need to speak to. And so I was gaining clients locally long before I ever figured out the online thing. But the point is I was getting them. And I didn't have a process, you guys. I'm really speaking to this because some of you don't even realize, even when you're on your new venture, you got to still keep this mindset. You got to embrace the journey of discovery. And it's not just discovering the process, it's also discovering who you are. And so I'm just working with all of these women and I'm having these one-to-one conversations, but I'm like, this keeps on coming up. And that keeps on coming up. Why do these two things keep coming up? You know what? And then I started saying, maybe I should make an opt-in for that. Or maybe I should make an opt-in for that. People are like, you need to have your signature talk or your signature story. Well, what is that going to be for me? But now, I've been reflecting on this because I believe it's a total of 10 events already for this year, combination of local, online, and podcast interviews. And the same thing keeps coming up. And there are two signature issues that I address. I always address the issue with ideal client identification and then not stepping into the fullness of your own power. And both of those are laced with the whole ideal and concept of authenticity and how so many women fail at business because we're too busy trying to show up as this properly prepared, prim, and proper princess that got her shit together instead of just showing up as who I am. And so building a plane while you fly it, I know it doesn't make sense because you're thinking about things. Everything you're thinking about is so damn literal. You can't build a plane while you're flying. That's why they have the air mask. And if the doors were open, so you're thinking, you're taking something that's very metaphoric and you're perverting it with your limited finite mind. Literal thinking is man's thinking. Get that. Literal thinking is man's thinking. But once you join the entrepreneurial world, you then decide to think with the mind of a god. You are a god. You think like a god. So then things become very figurative, and things that are figurative and are spoken then become literal reality. You guys are trying to do it in the reverse. You're trying to speak about something that's literal, concrete, and already here, and then thinking you're still going to create something new. I don't know if everybody caught what I just said, and maybe I need to bring it back so you hear me. If you're an entrepreneur and you only think on a literal plane, you're speaking to what you see and you know, and that is limited thinking. So you're thinking that you're going to speak something into existence and you wonder why nothing's moving in your life because you're already speaking to what's already been spoken to. When you become an entrepreneur, you go into a figurative conversation, a conversation of imagination, and you're visualizing the possibilities. So you're speaking to something new. It's the power of creation. It's the power of being made in the image and the likeness of God to bring things into existence. That's why it says you should speak things that aren't as though they are. And so this journey is not about you having everything together. Yes, there are basic things you should have together. For instance, with my summit, the opt-in link is there. The payment link is there. Thank you, beautiful. You're hearing me. The landing page, was made or whatever. But there's a lot of stuff that's still in the background that's still being created. Speak yes, speak them how you want them. Exactly, Kiki. And so I have a lot of things that I'm doing in the background. I have an event that's going on in September. The primary foundation is there, but there are things I'm still working on in the background. And if you really think about it, almost everything you do, you still have to do it in processes, in phases. It's just that you don't feel like you've completed anything until somebody checks off a box and says that you have. But I want you all to think about something that you're doing right now. And this will be a difficult one for you, Miss Kiki, because you're a very free spirit. But I want you to think about something. Everybody that watches this video now watches this video later. What is something that you want to accomplish in your life and your business? Because at the end of the day, it's all connected. And you feel like you're hitting a wall. And I want you to go and ask yourself, how literally am I approaching this situation? You want something to change. I want you to ask yourself, how literal are you about the situation? And then I want you to sit there and say, if I just decided to do something really ultra, super, mega crazy, if I jumped off of a cliff, what is that something different that I could do that sounds crazy as hell? Or just allow yourself to explore, period, and say, how do I think outside of the box? Look, burn the box. Okay, burn the box. How do you free yourself? Because I promise you, every single time I feel like I'm going so far and something isn't working, I'm like, okay, what needs to change? And then I get these random spurts and ideas and I do things, and that's when it changes. Say, oh my goodness, damn, damn the box. Yes, burn it. He was like, I think outside the box. I got out the box, but burn the damn thing so don't nobody else get in it. That's my philosophy. Burn the box. So that's my nugget. And for those of you that watch this video, especially for those of you that are in the Authentic Collective community, let's have a discussion around that thing, maybe you're like, August, I hear what you said, but I can't see what you're saying. This is the whole point of having community, because your thinking is limited. And the reason why God is so powerful is because even God does not function by himself. That's right. Even if you believe in the Bible, it says that the Spirit moved first and then he spoke. For those of you that are Christians, then you speak of the triune God, of how God, the Spirit, and Jesus work hand in hand. But excuse me, when things are going on, doesn't God also dispatch his angels? Or what, the archangel, and Michael, Gabriel, all of them? Are there not prophets also interceding and delivering messages on his behalf? It's a group effort. And so another reason why so many of you fail or don't get where you're trying to go is because you're thinking with your mind only. That's why masterminding is so powerful, because when we sit here and say, look, I gotta say something, y'all. And see, this is where we get messed up with, because we don't want to say anything because we want to look like we got all our stuff together. Oh God, everybody's just cheering me on and all of this stuff is looking so great. And if I say that I'm having trouble with this, then bam, you don't get any results. But some of you don't realize that you're forgetting very basic steps. You said my thinking is limited when it comes to asking for help. Since you put that little comment on here, Kiki, I just wanted you to know that I had something I wanted to say to you. I'm going to say it on this video, not to call you out, but to raise awareness about your event. You can't really judge based on everything that you see. Okay? You cannot really judge based on what you see, but at the same time, you can make observations based on what you see. And I got a problem, not with you, but with your following. But then we can still bring it back to you, right? Because CEO mentality says we bring things back to ourselves. I got a problem with the fact that you put a fundraiser out there asking for help. I'm finna start some shit, Kiki. She's making comments on YouTube, y'all. She just told me don't start no shit. All kids with a bunch of laughing faces. That only 2 people donated. Only 2 people donated. Very modest goal. And I got a problem. Not from a negative place, no negative energy, but from all the people that follow her, know how sincere her heart is. $5, $10, $20, $50 here. She should have met her goal within 72 hours. I had a problem with that. Now, but on the other hand, CEO mentality says, but what can Kiki do? Kiki, I'm gonna need you to personalize. And I'm gonna need you to write me a check when this is through, because you know better. You say, I need you to personalize this fundraiser, and I need you to go in hard. That story, see, everybody ain't gonna read it, but I read your story. Didn't even know that about you and your husband. But you need to go live. You need to go live. You need to tell your story. You invited people, but we already know a lot of people don't pay attention to them invites when they come because they're so used to getting them. And maybe you've already done some of this stuff, but I'm gonna need you to go after people. I'm gonna need you to go after them hard. But I'm gonna need you to tell your story so that people that don't know you can hear it. And I want you to break that story up into pieces. And I want you to don't just tell people about what happened. I want you to tell them about what's going to happen. Because if I'm going to see, I did it off the strength because I know you. But if I'm going to invest in something, I mean, come on, there's too many things to invest in. Give to this because of sickle cell. Give to this because of the homeless. Give to this because this person has cancer. Give to this because this person's been battered and abused. You know what I'm saying? But what makes a person want to give to you? What makes a person want to give to you? Yeah, you need to look, I want my check, Kiki. It's still ideal client identification. Who are the ideal clients, ideal contributors that would give to your fundraiser? People that you know that are ex-veterans. People they see, this is where you should have been doing. I'm sure you probably did when you do your recon work. All the people that posted on Veterans Day that you connected to, thank you for such and such a service. Do you have their name written down on a piece of paper? You see, this is why we have to be thinking when we're creating things, because we have to go back at all of them people, be like, hey, I know that you're a veteran. I know that your son is a veteran, blah, 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 blah. These are the kind of things that go down. And unfortunately, on one hand, while they can explore the world and see this, this is what they potentially going to come to, blah, 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 blah. Bam, contribute. Thank you. I love you. Yeah, but the confirmation, I just need to check. I told y'all all the time, but at the end of the day, you already know processes, mindset. That's me. And sometimes you can get in your head and you can think too much. You know what I'm saying? Or you even though your thinking was right, I'm on you because you're moving too slow. You know what I'm saying? Time is of the essence. Get on it. You building the plane. You said you build the plane while it's going down. I want you to build the plane while it's flying. So anywho, that's it. I kind of got into a mini rant. This video is already at 15 minutes. You guys know I don't like to keep them that long, but I love for you to get a dose of inspiration, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, the move. And plus I need to give my I love you. I need to give my breath a break because I got an interview at 1:00. But also, ladies, I know that it's a transition and we are learning how to utilize this community. Put a positive post up, go look for somebody, follow somebody new, send them a message, tell them what you learned and what you like about them. Contribute to the community. Contribute to the community. This is how the atmosphere changes, all right? Contribute to the Authentic Collective. You're going to want to, you guys, before you know it, the group is going to be very expansive. You're going to want to promote products and services. I promise those of you that have connected more on the front end are going to see more on the back end. Okay. Now I am officially gone. I love y'all. Deuces.